Hey guys and gals, this is Trevor coming at you with the first CarrotCast episode of 2018. And this happens to be a Trevor Truck Talk. So if you're new to the CarrotCast and this is your first episode, there's a little bit of background noise because I'm actually in my truck. And every now and then if I have a spark of inspiration, I do a recording in my truck. And I'm driving right now from my office to my house. So I kind of pulled a little bit of a late night tonight. At the office. And I do that maybe once or twice a month max. And tonight it's about 9:30 right now. I'm heading home. And I have about a 15-mile drive home to my house. We moved into this house about a year and a half ago or so. And we're in full renovation mode. It's a slight disaster at the moment. Our kitchen, we don't have a kitchen. And they're working on it. All that should be done in about a month. But the reason that I'm bringing this up is I'm actually recording this the Thursday before New Year's. You're listening to this, the day after New Year's, if you're listening to the day that it came out. And today I did a call. I do this call every year. It's my favorite call. It's the call that we get the most feedback from clients on. It's the call called Planning an Epic Year. This was Planning an Epic Year 2018. Planning an Epic 2018. And man, we had hundreds of people on the call. There were 200 or so people on the YouTube version of it. There's over 300 people who have watched the Facebook version of it so far. And we'll probably have over 500, maybe even 1,000 people watch the replay over the next three to 4 weeks. So there's going to be thousands of people tuning into this. And the reason I love it so much and the reason it's so impactful for our clients is because really we sit here and talk on the CarrotCast about all these strategies. We lay out, how to improve your life and how to improve things as an entrepreneur, how to save time, how to go out there and close more deals, how to do wholesaling. We interview our clients. But at the end of the day, all that stuff isn't going to matter if you don't have the process in place to really plan out the year well. And also not really to plan out the year. That's the easy part. That's the fun part. Like planning the year is exciting to me. I love it because it's vision based. It's like you get to create a story. You get to create that story. The hard part is when you get in the year, how do you make sure that you're actually executing on it? How do you actually stay the course? And how do you actually continue to be motivated and inspired by that plan? Because that's where people fall off. A lot of people plan. Most people fail to actually execute on it. And that's something I honestly have a slight weakness on as well, where I'm not very good at follow through. And so that's why I've had to build a bigger team here at Carrot, is to build amazing people who are great at follow through. But the thing that I think most people struggle with is, number one, most people don't take the time out to plan. Number two, when they do, they put that plan away come March or April because they're defeated by their goals because they're not marching towards them. So what I did in this episode, and I want you to go download the replay, go to oncarrot.com/epic. That's oncarrot.com/epic. And you can sign up, get the full replay of the planning call. You're going to get all of my planning documents. I walk through in detail what we do. But the thing I want to talk about in this episode of the CarrotCast, I talk about on that webinar a bunch, is the foundation that I found, like the foundation of having an epic year, the foundation of planning and actually executing and following through in that year isn't the actual mechanics of what do you do to plan. It's not the, hey, what questions do I ask and where do I put things and stuff like that. It's not really that. Like, that's the easy part. I give you our process there that we've honed over the years. The part that I found is the most important and probably is the biggest differentiator between the people who set a plan and crush it and people who set a plan and struggle. It's the foundation of the planning pyramid, the foundation of the success pyramid that we created that I walk through inside of that webinar. That's mindset. Now, mindset's basic stuff, right? It's not something you haven't heard before. But I can tell you without wavering that mindset is likely the sole thing that changed my life in 2010, 11, 12. Now, I didn't have a bad mindset before. I probably still had the best positive mindset out of any of my friends and stuff, but I was in a trough, and I talk about this in some episodes of the CarrotCast in specifics, the one where I walk through my 8 core success decisions or eight core success moments in my life, and I walk through every single one of those in detail, what led me from where I was to where I am today. And mindset was a biggie. And I walked through 2 core mindset shifts I had to make in that episode. Go find it in the CarrotCast. I think it's called 8 Success Steps or 8 Steps to Success or my 8 Core Stuff. Go find it. It's in there somewhere. That's the second most commented on podcast I've ever done. It's an amazing podcast. Okay. But I want to give you some mindset tips and tricks that I use in this short episode. And I want you to write some of these down, because leading into the year, if you're not doing these things, you're going to be really struggling. And it doesn't matter who it is, like, it doesn't matter what job you have. If you're a unicorn rider, like, you're going to at some point have some mindset hits. At some point, you're probably going to have some moments where you're struggling, and we all have that. I have those as well. Like, I have those every month usually. And what happens is, now that I've got better at mindset, I'm just able to more quickly get out of those mindset troughs. I'm able to more quickly get out of those little mini depressions, if you want to call it that, because of these mindset hacks. Okay. So one of the first things that I want to throw at you, and I talk about this in detail on that webinar at the end, is controlling your environment, is really creating a winning environment. Okay. And your environment is so important. I want you, leading into this new year, to be crazy intentional over the next coming weeks to craft a winning environment. And I'm talking like the physical place that you live and you work. Now, I'm not saying to go buy a new house, or I'm not saying to go do whatever. I'm saying to surround yourself with things that empower you, okay? And I started doing this years ago, where I'm just such a corny guy on the mindset side. My team probably sometimes gets weirded out by it. But I just love quotes. I love success quotes. I love success stories. I love biographies of things that are inspiring and empowering. So what I do is, every single year when I come up with my theme for the year, and I suggest you do that as well, when you're going through and doing your goal planning, you're doing the goal setting, you write your vision story. And I'll talk about that here in a bit on the mindset side. But when you do all those things, come up with a theme that's a very short theme, or it could even be a quote that you find that epitomizes that theme for your year. And this is for you personally. My theme a couple years ago, well, actually my theme in 2012 was to do the best I could possibly do, even the small things in life. Like, that was my theme, to look back at the end of the year and know with conviction that I did the best I could possibly do at everything in life. Okay. And then march forward every single year since then. I've had a theme. My theme last year, and I've got it on a canvas on my wall. I started printing them out on canvases. We use a company called canvaspop.com. They're awesome. And just go to Fiverr or something like that and get a canvas made out of your favorite quote that epitomizes your theme. But this last year, it was actions express priorities, because I knew that there were a lot of things that I said were priority, but my actions weren't showing that. And I needed to remind myself every single day when I walked into the office of that, and just see that and absorb it and see it every single day. This year, my theme for the year is I really want to regain more of my time. And I'm not talking like I'm not working 60 hours a week. That's not it. It's more mental time. It's more, I want to make sure that I'm fully present at home when I'm at home. I want to make sure I'm fully present at work when I'm at work. I want to make sure that when I want to take the time off, I don't feel guilty for taking the time off away from my team and the company. And also, when I'm at work, I don't want to feel guilty for being at work against when my family's not there. And that's an issue that I've got to deal with. But my theme for this year is, the goal of entrepreneurship is not money. It's complete control over your time. And I have a quote that I put on my wall, and it's a canvas behind my office. Also, other things I do to change my state, to change my environment. I have quotes all over my office. My team has quotes in their office. The last 2 years, we've found the favorite quote that epitomizes the stage that our team members are in. We've printed off canvases and mailed them to them, even the ones who live out of state, so they have their own thing in their office. The next thing, you got to have your core values around you, because it's really easy to get off track in life and business if we're not continually reminded of and absorbed in what it is that we say are our core values to help us live the quality of life that we want to live, to put out to the world what we want to put out to the world. So we created our core values here at Carrot years ago, and actually the team and I adjusted them slightly this past January, like a year ago. And every single person has a large size printout in their office with our Carrot core values. Okay, I've got mine right over the eyesight of my desk, and so I can always see over the eyesight of my computer our core values post over there, and I find myself reading it or glancing at it multiple times a day just because it's there. And the cool thing is, when people walk in that are clients or other people, they see that. That's one of the first things they see, and people always stand there and look at it. And it's so important that people see your core values, but also you see them, so you can continually measure yourself on, hey, how am I living those? Is there a better way I can live that core value this week? So surround yourself with those core values that empower you. Okay, another thing on the mindset side, it's really easy, once again, for you to get mid-year or 3 months in and be defeated by those goals you had set. So one of the biggest mindset hacks, y'all, like if you want to find, everyone asks me, hey, what's the most empowering book, or what's your favorite book that you suggest for mindset stuff? Honestly, one of the most empowering reads you could ever have is something you write called Your Vision Story. And this is something I started doing a few years back. I've got my orange notepad. I pack around with me. It's Carrot orange. I use an orange pen. It's all orange dye. Everything's orange. And what I started doing was, I'm not a vision board guy, where a lot of people print off pictures and put them on their vision board. That's awesome. If that's you, sweet, use it. You use what works for you. I'm not a vision board guy. I love biographies. I love stories. I love stories. So what I started doing is I started sitting down and writing a vision story. And I start at 20 years out, then I go 10 years out, 5 years out, and then for that next year. And all that a vision story is you sitting down and going, okay, I'm going to close my eyes. 20 years from today, I'm 35 right now, so when I'm 55 years old, what will my life look like? Not what do I want my life to look like, what will my life look like? Okay, and I'm pulling into my house right now, so pardon the window opening there, open the gate. What is it going to feel like? What am I going to wake up that day to? What's my wife doing that she loves and she's charged up about? What are my kids doing at that point? Like, where are they at? What are they doing in life? What's my company look like? What does my average day look like? Like, I track all the way through and write in crazy detail in story format what my life is like at that point. In every single aspect, my fitness, my mental capacity, my family, specific relationships, specifically what I'm doing that day, things like that. Write your vision story and then work it back to 10 years. Okay, now you go, okay, if that's where I want to be in 20 years and I can see it, I can taste it, I can feel it, I can smell it, I can actually feel the emotions of how I'm going to feel at that point. It's real to me. It's not something that seems foreign or something I can't reach. It's a real, like, that is my life in 20 years. That's the way I honestly feel about it. I'm so confident that is it. Then I go, okay, if that's my life in 20 years, then what do I have to do in 10 years? Like, what's my life going to be like in 10 years? What is that vision story? Then I start to write that. It's usually a little bit shorter than the 20 year. Okay. And then I go 5 years and I work back to a year. And the cool thing is, this vision story for me, when you do the whole exercise, for me, it's 8, 10, 12 pages of handwritten font. And I love writing it because of just the exercise of writing it. There's something about that tactile feeling of physically putting pen to pad. And then I keep that with me. And anytime I feel down, anytime I'm feeling like I'm wavering off course, anytime I'm not crazy motivated in the moment in the work that I'm doing, I whip out that vision story and I start reading parts of it. Because the thing is, it does two things on the mindset side. It does two things. The first thing that it does is it gets you reconnected with what excited you about your business or your life in the first place. Where am I going? That excites me. This story is me. This excites me. Man, that's exciting. The second thing is it helps to validate or invalidate that work that you're doing at the moment. That's kind of like defeating you or making you so you're not crazy happy and excited. It validates or invalidates that work you're doing and shows you, hey, is this work actually important to take me to that vision, story? And if it's not, you should really reevaluate what you're doing. And I've done that many times where I've read it. I'm like, man, if that's where I want to be at that point, and that's truly where I want to be, and I know I'm confident that I'm going to be there, I can't be doing what I'm doing right now. I need to go find someone else to do that, or I just need to stop doing this activity. And I've done that so many times. Or I'm just going to power through this and I'm going to find the first activity I can do that is empowering in this vision story. Okay. So that's an amazing, amazing mindset trick. I find myself reading my vision story a couple times a month, usually just connecting to it. And also I encourage our team to read the vision story for our company. That's a separate one. Okay. Another mindset hack, this right here. And this is not a hack. This is fundamentally changing the way that we live life, fundamentally changing the way that we, what we decide to put into our brains. Okay, I watched an amazing, amazing talk from Darren Hardy, the founder of Success Magazine. It's like 3 or 4 years ago in person. And he had a clear picture of water up there. And I said this on the webinar today. He had a clear picture of water up there on stage with him. And he said, this water represents the vessel of your brain. Your brain basically is a vessel that holds whatever you put into it. And then he took a thing of food coloring and he started dripping this food coloring in drop by drop by drop. And you can imagine what happened was that food coloring started to just, at first, just kind of, it was in there a little bit. Then every drop that hit it would just cloud it further and cloud it further and cloud it further until basically it was dark water. And he said, that's what happens on a daily basis with us. As you're watching news, as you're reading this, as you're reading that, as you're around people that are negative, as you're on Facebook, as you're in this, there's all these influences that are negative that are pouring all of this into our brains. And he said, well, you can imagine how your life is going to be if that's what you're doing. If you're accepting all this negative influence into your brain and you're not combating it with clean water. So then he took out a big pitcher of clean water. And he said, what we need to do every single day is shut off that drip of negative influence as much as we can. Combat it. You're not going to be able to shut it off fully, but combat it. And then how you completely clean that vessel back out, clean your brain back out, is he took that clean pitcher and he poured it into the dirty pitcher, and he poured it in, and he poured it in. The more he poured in, the more clear that water became until eventually it was completely crystal clear again. And the metaphor that this plays here is, number one, find ways to cut those negative influences out. Find ways to stop that. With Facebook, I've pinned this specific Facebook page called GoalCast to the top of my page, so that's the first thing I see are their posts all the time. GoalCast has amazing videos on there. They're empowering, amazing images that are empowering. I can't get on Facebook without looking at a GoalCast now. That sets my mindset there, so I don't get in the negative mindset in Facebook. Okay, and then the next thing to do is then find ways as your environment, once again, find ways to continually pour those motivational things in there. A big part of it's the people that you spend time with. Okay, so I have 3 mastermind groups that I'm a part of. One of them locally in Roseburg. We get together monthly in my offices in the loft, and it's actually loft members. It's people who I want to be around, amazing entrepreneurs, people who are, one of them has grown companies well into the tens of millions a year and sold them for tens of millions. And he's a friend, and he's a personal coach and mentor of mine. And others who are just amazingly empowering people in different parts of life. I love being around them. They lift me up. They are a positive energy for me. Okay, I have friends that are that. I've got my mastermind that I do twice a year with amazing, empowering people. My team, I hire people that are amazing and empowering, and we have those discussions. It's just something that we do. So surround yourself with those people, because that's going to really amplify what's great in your life. It's going to amplify what you want to do in your life. It's going to pour those positive influences into you. Okay, so I'm going to finish with that. I could talk about this for hours, but I just want to throw this little thing at you as I was driving home. I'm sitting in my driver right now. I got to bounce out, head in there to the family. But basically, this next 2 weeks, whenever you're listening to this, it doesn't matter if it's December 14th or January 2nd. This next 2 weeks, do something to change your environment. Okay, create a positive, empowering environment. Get your theme for the year up on the wall. Get your goals up on the wall. Go out there and form a little mini mastermind of people who are empowering and positive that you can meet with weekly or monthly. Okay. Show up to our coaching calls whenever you want a little dose of that positivity here from Carrot. Okay. Put those influences in there. We actually have these Carrot bracelets, these little orange bracelets that we've been mailing out to people that say, be a beacon of positivity and possibility. And that's something that reminds me to be that whenever I look at that. I wear it every single day. Okay, find those ways to have the positive influences. Write your vision story. Sit down, go find a place that inspires you. Oftentimes I'll do it when I'm traveling, or I'll do it in my backyard, overlooking the river. And find some time that inspires you and sit down there and write that vision story. 20 years, 10 years, 5 years, 1 year. Work your way back from 20 years and just sit there and write in story format, not bullet point format, story format. Okay, close your eyes, put yourself in that physical, emotional feeling. What do I want to feel when I'm waking up on January 2nd, 2019, or whatever that date is a year out from today when you're writing that, okay? How do I want to feel? What do I want to see? What do I want to experience that day? What do the relationships look like? Who do I talk to? What am I doing in my work? What did I achieve that year? What am I setting to achieve out this next year? What struggles do I have that I'm wanting to overcome? Write all that down in story format, and then work it back to 10, 5, 1 year. And use that and keep it somewhere in front of you all the time. Don't keep it just wrapped into a digital document somewhere, ideally a physical thing that you pack around with you so you can open it up and read whenever you're down and out or need that burst of inspiration. Okay, and then surround yourself with amazing people. So hopefully we can be that burst of inspiration for you. I'm shutting my door heading into the house right now, and just let us know how we can help you. I'm crazy pumped about this year. I'm insanely pumped about some episodes we have coming up. They're going to help you get focused on your priorities, and just wait and see what we do this year, y'all. Carrot's got some big moves for you, and we want to help you make some big moves as well. So go to oncarrot.com/epic. go get our annual planning process, my annual planning documents, including my energy audit, which changed my life, including my annual or my daily to-do checklist, all those things you can get for free on carrot.com/epic. And we've got you this year. Subscribe to the CarrotCast. We've got some amazing ones coming for you. And let's have an amazing year, y'all. See ya.